On this episode, we break some boards, sit through an awkward dinner, and go for a drive. Hey everybody, I'm Mayhem, and these are movies you probably missed. Number 1, The Foot Fist Way.
Keep your eyes on Rick, and don't forget the distracting back fist, that's the key. Sparring stances? C-check!
This comedy starring Danny McBride was director Jody Hill's first movie. It's about the life and personal problems of a Taekwondo teacher who is basically the biggest tool you can imagine. The Foot Fist Way isn't the best thing that Hill and McBride have done together, but it's still pretty funny, especially if you're a fan of the show Eastbound and Down. Number 2, The Guest.
No!
In this thriller from 2014, Dan Stevens plays a mysterious ex-soldier named David, who suddenly appears on the doorstep of the Peterson family, claiming their son was a friend of his in the war. He sticks around for a while, and at first it seems like he has good intentions. But of course, David turns out to be something else entirely. Both Dan Stevens and Mike Moreau are excellent in this movie, and it could have been made in the 80s. The plot, the kick-ass soundtrack, and the overall vibe just screams 80s slasher film. If you're into that kind of thing and you haven't seen it, check it out. Number 3, Table 19.
Walter, where do you live?
This story was originally written by the Duplass brothers, and in case you were wondering, I love those guys. It's about a girl at a wedding that was supposed to be the maid of honor, but because the best man and brother of the bride broke up with her, she's been replaced and demoted to a table with people who are also not welcome at the wedding.
There's been a long discussion about what kind of table this is. How close to the toilet do you feel now, Mr. Kemp?
The same. The distance is the same.
It's not a great movie, but for some reason I couldn't stop watching. There are a couple of funny moments, and also some really stupid ones. But it stars pretty decent actors like Anna Kendrick, Stephen Merchant, and Craig Robinson. Think of it like a shittier version of The Breakfast Club. Number 4, 7852.
Spending 7 days on one small set, shooting, such a short scene was pretty much unheard of.
Generally these days, you're lucky if you get 1 day to kill someone.
It has to be an obsession. Shooting that over the course of 7 days, that is absolutely an obsession.
Alfred Hitchcock was of course the master of suspense, and this whole documentary is all about the shower scene in Psycho. The title refers to the 78 camera setups and 52 cuts that made up the short but iconic murder scene that took an entire week to film.
The audience starts to look over into that negative space and feeling like, why am I looking over here? The door opens, you see the shadow and then Norman's figure, and that's the mounting terror where you say to yourself, oh my God, and that is the difference between suspense and surprise.
Even if you're not a fan of Hitchcock, this documentary is very interesting to watch, especially if you're interested in filmmaking. And number 5, Cop Car.
All right, kids. Fun's over. I know who you are, and you are in a whole hell of a lot of trouble. Do you understand?
This movie from 2015 follows 2 young boys who ran away from home and find a cop car with nobody in it. They claim the car for themselves, not knowing that the owner of the car, a corrupt sheriff played by Kevin Bacon, is desperate to get it back.
Once again, to the 2 children who have stolen my vehicle. This does not have to be a felony offense. Heck, doesn't even have to be a misdemeanor. What's important is that the car gets returned to me immediately.
What?
This movie was directed by John Watts, who also made Spider-Man Homecoming. And with its plot twist, it reminded me a little of Fargo, but on a much smaller scale. It's only an hour and a half long, and it stars Kevin Bacon. So check it out if you haven't seen it. That's it for this episode. Thanks for watching, and feel free to click on the blue M&M to subscribe. Have a great weekend, everybody.
I mean, this is my fucking life, dude. I mean, give me a goddamn break. I'm married to goddamn some slut You're just gonna jerk off every motherfucker that knows how to work a goddamn computer at her fucking job? Jesus Christ.